In practice 4, a Modbus RTU network is implemented using PCs and a USB 485 converter. This involves establishing connections and sending data packets between a master and multiple slaves. For communication to occur, there must be a transmitter and a receiver, which are the master and a slave respectively. The master acts as the client and the slave as a server. Communication is achieved using a common code understood by both parties, known as a communication protocol, and a medium, which in this case is guided. The architecture is bus, and the communication type is serial. For execution, a master, which is a Modbus pool, and a slave, which is Modbus slave, are required. The master request includes the address of the slave map register, the number of registers to provide the request, master's write data, and error checking. The configuration used is as follows. To connect the master to slaves, a junction is used. The master communicates with more than one slave, and for this, a 120 ohm resistor is also placed in both the master and the last slave. Regarding the operation of the practice, it's necessary for both the master and the slaves to have the same configuration for data transmission, such as the same baud rate, priority mode, and more. Now, for communication, each slave must have its own slave address, and the master will communicate with the slave using that slave ID. After this, it sends a value to a specific register address. Thus, to communicate with another slave, the logic remains the same. Only the master changes the slave ID with which it wants to communicate.